Hey everybody, Troy to the Max Extreme here.
And Ghost Hunter Dave.
And we are IMPERIUS REX.
Right, another spooky episode as we get closer.
Don't say that when I'm drinking.
Oh, sorry. So today we're going to look at the 1996 seminal classic from Jeph Loeb and Tim Sale. Really got him on the board with this book. The Long Halloween.
Now you want to get nuts? Come on, let's get nuts.
Is a story that spans an entire year.
Ooh. When does it start?
Halloween?
Ah. When does it end, though?
Halloween?
I see what... I get it.
It's super long. You would think it'd just be a day if we're saying it begins and ends on Halloween.
No.
You'd be incorrect.
365 days.
That's right. Unless it was a leap year. But I doubt it, because I think they would include it as a chapter.
That totally would have been. Yeah. We're getting ahead of ourselves.
Oh, sorry. And it follows there is a mysterious killer around Gotham doing several different types of murders, usually the same type of murder, but on a different day.
Right.
And they coincide on different holidays.
That's right. What's the killer's name?
Well?
Holiday.
Yes. You would think it would be Calendar Man, and it is not.
No.
Calendar Man is in this.
Plays like a Hannibal Lecter role.
That's right.
He's this loony guy locked up in Arkham that Batman keeps coming to for clues. Gets nothing out of him.
Nah.
This guy's a nut job.
At least he doesn't go in there and get jizz thrown on him.
Yeah, well. So this is 13 issues, but it's a quick read. A lot of beautiful splash pages.
Yep.
I would say this is Jeph Loeb, like at the top of his game.
I would say this is probably one of the best Jeph Loeb things I've ever read.
Yes, me too.
Comic-wise. I don't know if he's done prose. Probably not.
No.
But regardless, I have never read it.
Right. Let's make one thing clear here. Troy does not read prose.
No. No, thank you.
But he's not doing it alone, because Tim Sale is bringing his A game too. And he draws a fine Batman.
Yeah.
Just a nice long-eared Batman.
That's right. And it's uniquely his own style, too.
Yeah.
And from other books that he's done maybe before this, I think this is where it, like, solidifies as, like, you can identify it as a Tim Sale art piece.
Oh, yeah. Yep. And these guys have worked together on many projects after this, too. They kicked it off with Haunted Night, which was a collection of 3 Halloween-centered Batman tales, where I believe they first got their feet wet together.
Yep.
And then they went on, did a follow-up to this called Dark Victory. And then they went on to Marvel and did a ton of books based on color schemes around Marvel. Yep. So those I've heard are very good. I've read Spider-Man Blue. Love to check out some other ones.
Same!
But you know what? We don't talk about Spider-Man on this show.
Apparently not.
We never have and we never will. I don't care if he's your favorite hero. He's not getting a second of our airtime. We need to get back to Batman. This is a long story, and we're already just rattling on.
Okay, go.
All right. So, there's also a criminal war going on between 2 mob families.
Yeah.
Carmine the Roman Falcone. Falcone?
Falcone? I said Falcone when I was reading it.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
It's more fun.
Yeah, it is.
And who's the other one? Salvador...
Something Maroni.
Maroni.
Yeah.
Falcone and Maroni.
That's why I said it like Falcone, because it was fun.
Yes. That's right. And a lot of the Nolan movies were inspired by this little turf war between the gangs.
Yeah.
And also, I believe there's a Catwoman story arc that branches off this too, because she has past with the Roman.
Yep.
So this is all going on, and meanwhile, all of the Romans' relatives are being hit.
With a gun.
Right. Yep.
Like a hit job.
Exactly.
One of those HJs you hear about on the internet.
Yes.
But at the scene of the crime, a gun is left.
Mm-hmm.
The same gun every time.
Small gun.
Yep.
Maybe something a woman would use.
Oh, maybe.
I'm not being gender biased. They say
They
it
say
many
it
times.
in the books. And also left there by the crime scene is a burst baby nipple, which they use as a silencer for the gun.
Right, like a pacifier, not like a severed nipple.
Right. And then also like a weird trinket for the holiday that is occurring.
Jack-o'-lantern.
Mm-hmm.
Shamrock.
A
Shake.
Statue of Liberty. A shamrock shake.
You can only get them one time a year.
A cornucopia.
Ooh.
Around Thanksgiving.
That's right. Pumpkin spice latte. Because he doesn't want to reuse the pumpkin on the second go around. Feels like fall. We also get a very thorough introduction to Harvey Dent.
Yeah.
And his wife Gilda.
Yeah.
Harvey's the headstrong district attorney who wants to clean up Gotham, and it looks like he's willing to get his hands dirty to do it.
Yeah.
So himself, Jim Gordon, and Batman form kind of an alliance on the rooftops of Gotham PD.
A bit of a pact.
Yep, and they decide, like, we're going to do whatever it takes to clean up Falcone's reign.
Right. They get Batman in to do the things that they can't do legally.
Mm-hmm. Yep, and they're not killing people or anything.
No.
Although there's some suspicion maybe one of them is killing them under the guise of holiday.
Holiday.
Are they? No. So, as it goes on, Falcone's family is whittled down on every holiday except April Fool's. Gotcha. Didn't kill anyone that day.
Fooled ya.
Yep. And throughout the series, we're kind of introduced to a smattering of villains, the regular Batman Rogues gallery, that are starting to creep up and take their rightful place on Gotham City.
Right.
So it used to be just mobsters, straight guys, and they're all like, what are all these freaks doing? They're burning down the biz.
Right.
Yep.
Give me that guy, the Riddler. Yeah, the other guy, you know, the Penguin, or whatever. I don't know. None of that would ever said in the book.
No.
I actually like this book a lot going into it because I don't ever read a lot of stuff that's not a supervillain. It's just these two crime families, which I was like, this is really refreshing.
Yeah.
It was way refreshing, and shame on me that I've never read this before.
Yeah.
But then, once I did get through it, because of the Nolan-grounded movies, a lot of similarities are in The Dark Knight that's in this.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
A lot of the Harvey Dent story there. Yeah. So I would say Harvey Dent is kind of the main focal point of this. He's not always the main character throughout, but the story is revolving around Harvey.
Yeah.
Just like in The Dark Knight.
Yep.
And it is a really good kind of condensed portrayal of his turn to Two-Face eventually.
Yeah.
Which I think Jeph Loeb, for any of his faults on the Ultimate line, we've talked about ad nauseum, he does a great, like, summarizing of classic events and kind of making them modern and condensed. So rather than going back and reading like the really dated origin of Two-Face or anyone else, you can read like this kind of like event version or like the cinematic version of it.
I would say, yeah. That's
and
really
it
good.
kind of ties it into the whole universe and gives it more of a scope, and it's great.
Yeah.
This feels like it takes place right after year one.
Yeah.
And I think they even say that in the introduction. They wanted, DC contracted them to follow up in that type of universe.
But it's not year two.
It's
because
not.
there is a year two. Heard it stinks.
Yeah, I think McFarlane did artwork on it.
What?
Yeah, it is bizarre.
I've just always heard it stunk and I've stayed clear from it, so.
But this is a good follow. This can be year two.
Sure.
Uh-huh.
I'll just scratch that off and just...
Would you just deface that? So you want to talk about some of the villains?
Sure.
Here? I feel like this book is a really good, like, Batman the Animated Series version of Batman.
Yeah, yeah.
I feel like I pictured just about everyone as I picture them watching the show.
Yep.
I had the voices of the characters of
Yep.
the show in my head for this. They're all like the iconic version of the characters. They don't do anything crazy or off the wall with them. It's just like, yep, that's a good Joker.
Yep.
I'm not a huge fan of Jeph Loeb's take on Scarecrow and the Mad Hatter.
Okay,
Because they're just two jabbering idiots that only speak in nursery rhymes and Alice in Wonderland quotes.
Yeah.
And at one point they're working together in this, and you're like, how does anything get done?
It's insufferable.
They're just awful.
Yeah. Scarecrow didn't get, they didn't bother me as much. Mad Hatter did.
Yeah.
But if they're apart,
they're okay.
that was
small
okay.
doses.
But when they're together,
You double them up and
ruin
it's
that just gobbledygook they're saying.
Oh
Get
my-
the fuck out of here.
How does this relate to what you're doing in Gotham? Speaking of wanting to pump the brakes, good segue. I've had better. When it eventually gets to the courtroom scene,
Yeah.
where one of the mob bosses is under protection and he's gonna squeal, he's gonna spill his guts.
Yep.
Harvey Dent's there, he's gonna put him away.
Right.
And they've set it all up so they can throw that vial of acid in his face.
Yep.
That panel is like heart-stopping.
Yeah.
Because you know it's coming.
Right.
And you see it all planned out. He's
Right.
got it in his coat.
Right.
And then they do it and it's this like really beautiful looking full-page splash of it just like spilling out of the vial, going at his face.
Right.
And then as it goes on, like the pages of him just withering and screaming in agony on the ground.
Yeah.
It's like, oh man, poor Harvey.
Yeah.
Like, wow, that was rough.
I always like that too, that because in the Dark Knight they changed the way Two-Face gets Two-Faced
Right.
a bit. It's a dramatic kind of a thing, but I always liked it that it always happened in the courtroom.
Yeah, it
that's
makes
why
sense.
I like the Tommy Lee Jones one, where it has like that little vignette right at the beginning where Batman's in court as Batman,
Oh, yeah.
and that guy hucks that bucket of acid in his face, and that manila folder so perfectly cut it in half.
Oh, yeah.
It's so good. I still like, it's just so fun.
But yeah, so then he goes on to get all two-faced, hides out in the sewers for a while and crosses paths with Solomon Grundy, which was kind of odd, but like, Jeph Loeb is notorious for throwing every character into his arts.
I was going to bring that up earlier, but yeah.
in this, I felt like it didn't bother me.
No, because they're never crowding each other.
And it takes place in a year's time. It's not like one after another.
Right.
Riddler's in it, but he's not like a villain. The mob is using him to kind of figure out who
really
the
like
identity
that.
of
Yeah.
Holiday is. They're all used in really good, unique ways.
Yep.
And then at the very end, they're all kind of gathered together because Two-Face decides he's gonna run Gotham now.
Yep.
And the freaks are gonna run Gotham, so he gets all the wackos together.
All the wackadoos.
Yep. And I like in this too, he doesn't go full-on gangster. He's still a little bit more of that, like, embittered vigilante type of guy.
Yeah.
I like that. I never bought that Two-Face just goes criminal. Like, I see him as more of a Death Wish or Punisher type of guy, where he's like, I'm fucked, I'm just gonna go out and just cut a swath through Gotham with the flip of my coin deciding what I do.
Right, they ease into that, like, even early on in the story, too, because, like, at first he's, I don't know, you can, I guess he's by the book.
Yeah.
But then little things here is like, well, we should probably get Batman to do things that I probably shouldn't be seen doing or whatever. And then like, little things here and there, like when they come upon that stack of money, and it's like, well, if we were two different guys, and Batman's like, we aren't. But yeah, all that little threads throughout, like you can see him kind of getting more manic as the thing goes on, because he not only can he not figure out who this killer is,
he really wants to bring in Falcone through this whole thing.
That whole thing too, and that's always being evading him through this whole entire year.
Yep,
Really
and
well
his
done.
wife is asking him, like, you need to be home more, we need to start a family, and he's like, as soon as I close this case.
Right.
Which leads to the big reveal of this. 13 issues later, we find out the identity of Holiday.
Yeah.
And it is one of Falcone's nephews? Kind of? Maybe?
Yeah.
Here's where the book kind of falls apart for me.
Sure.
I think this is a great book, but I don't think it sticks the ending.
I'm right there with you.
Yeah. So you get the reveal. It's one of the nephews that was always like the weakling, the runt of the litter.
Yeah.
And he was never allowed to take part in any of the family's reindeer games.
Right.
So he's like, fuck it, I'm going to show you I'm a badass. So he goes around, killing all these guys.
Right.
But did he? Or did he just take credit for it at the very end?
Yeah.
He gets there, he follows the murderer's MO, and he says it's been him all along.
Yeah.
But it might be someone else.
Yeah.
Who?
Gilda?
I guess.
Like, cause this is where I was confused, because I was like, I need like,
Harvey's wife.
Yeah,
Gilda Dent.
yeah, at the end I needed like some swell of dramatic music to tell me who was the right.
It really
right
is
one.
her now. Like an arrow. Big YouTube yellow arrow.
But like, I don't know. Maybe it was made to be ambiguous like that.
I think it was, but it's at the same time
a little
very,
unsatisfying.
very ambiguous. Harvey's wrecked. He's Two-Face. He's in jail, I think. The the Falcone nephew is in jail claiming to be Holiday, so they've wrapped up the case. Gilda is left husbandless now, but burning all of this evidence, and it's all the stuff that Holiday has.
Yeah.
Like the hat, the coat, the gun, the nipples, everything. And she's like, we just want to start a family. And I think the last words are like, I believe in Harvey Dent, which has been said throughout the whole book. Yeah. So she was killing all of these mobsters so Harvey wouldn't have to go into work, I guess. She's just
so
wiping the board clean. Yeah. That's the part where I don't get her from meek housewife to cold-blooded killer.
Yeah, that was a hard connection to make.
I think it's too abrupt of a twist. Like, it is a twist, but I don't know if all the pieces were in line for that to really pay off.
No, because there's, like, conversations between her and Harvey where, like, maybe she's putting on a good show, but it doesn't make it seem like she would be
a murderer.
Yeah, out there offing people. Shaming people left and right.
Yeah. Yeah, and I even looked it up. I looked up Gilda Dent after this, because I'm like, so do they follow through with this? And she's, like, rarely used in canon after that. She just has this one story, and that's essentially it. So I'm like, okay, so she kind of is, and they just don't know what to do with it. They're like, I don't know. We're not touching that. So yeah, that's Long Halloween.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Overall, really liked it a lot.
Yep. Good introductory Batman book to anybody.
Oh yeah, for sure. Yeah. Gives you like all like your supervillains here spread throughout. Has a nice chilling, spooky plot thread throughout.
Spoilers. Yeah, and very down-to-earth, relatable plotline, too. It's not crazy superheroics. No. It's crime.
Right,
It's very surface level, and then you get the Batman spooks thrown in there for color. Yeah.
I actually like any story where Batman isn't really, like, the main character in this. He shows up a lot in this, don't get me wrong.
Right.
But I love it when there's scenes where he's just, like, looming in the background.
So is that it? That about do it?
I think that'll do. Unless we gotta...
Oh, do we have a call?
Yeah, we got a call. Hold on.
Keep it short.
Hello? Oh, it's him again.
Hey guys, Dinosaur Neil here. My favorite Batman story would have to be Batman Hush. But since somebody already said that, I'm going to have to go with Mark Millar's version of Batman in the story Superman Red Sun, where he has a sweet hat and a wonderful smile. Cheers, fellas.
Oh, you okay?
I really hope so.
All right. Well, we'll check in later.
Some aloe.
Yes. That's Dinosaur Neil.
Yeah, what a guy.
What a guy. We should have him back on, too. We had some friends clamoring for Dinosaur Neil to return.
The hashtag is trending.
It is.
Where is Dinosaur Neil?
I don't know. Is he in here somewhere? He pops out when you least expect it.
So yeah, that was the Long Halloween. Have you ever read the Long Halloween?
Have you ever had a long Halloween? Tell us about it.
Yeah, if so...
Paraphrase, if you could. Don't go into too much detail.
Let us know down below what you thought of the Jeph Loeb, Tim Sale synergy.
Classic.
Yeah. And
Batman and Dubuque's favorite.
That's true.
Yep.
Other than The Dark Knight Returns.
Well, I mean, top
obviously.
That, yeah.
But yeah, there you have it. The Long Halloween. We will be back next week with some more spooky Halloween comic-y goodness.
Or will we? We should say our names.
I've been Troy the Max Extreme.
And I've been Ghost Hunter Dave.
And we've been Imperius Rex. We'll see you later.